So KenGen has this park, right? And it's called the Green Energy Park. The Green Energy Park is in Naivasha, in Olkaria, right next to the Olkaria geothermal plant. That has already been designated as a special economic zone. So if you invest in the SEZ, you get all the benefits of the SEZ, which are many, by the way.
Yeah.
No, the first X number of years when everybody else is paying 30% income tax, you're at 10%, and so on and so forth, like our guest is going to tell us. Plus now, being within this KenGen Green Energy Park, it's hosting energy-intensive industries that require access to clean geothermal power, water, and land. It offers investors a competitive package of green energy infrastructure and a conducive business environment, supporting, of course, our Vision 2030. The other thing, it's 100% renewable because geothermal, whoop, into
The park.
the park. Second thing is, we're not even dealing it with, track or transmission line. It's from the ground to
From the source.
the generator, from the generator into the park. So if there's a blackout, surely KenGen will have very many questions.
You go next door to KenGen and knock.
It's like, hello.
If KenGen will not be blaming a monkey, they can't say a monkey
The
slipped
monkey
our
ate the wire.
Nothing. They could only say an act of God.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like Mungu amezima gas.
Only acceptable excuse.
The only acceptable excuse. Our guest is representing the second company that's investing in this KenGen Green Energy Park in Naivasha. The company is called Maxim Agri and Samak Grow. Samak. That tells you what they're doing there. Samak.
Feast.
They're growing samak.
Samak in Naivasha. Joachim Westerveld is the director of Maxim Agri, and he's our guest here. Good morning, Joachim.
Good morning, Eric. Thank you.
It's good to have you. Karibu sana.
Asante.
To begin our conversation, Felaris is going to give you the day's quote. Let's hear what you think about it.
Karibu sana. So today's quote is courtesy of a South African novelist. Name is Bessie Head. And she once wrote these words. When you stand still, you're still moving, you're moving backwards. How does that speak to you?
Completely agree.
Yeah?
Yeah. Basically, when in our businesses, I always say there's no status quo. If you're at status quo, there's always relative decline. So completely agree with that. Always move forward, always upward.
So there's no room for stagnation.
No.
Always on.
Even if you think you're stable, it means somebody else is coming up, which means relative to others, you are declining.
Very true.
That's the quote for tomorrow.
Tomorrow's quote.
Tomorrow's quote courtesy of I'm going to run that.
Right?
I'll be here quoting you.
Tell us a little bit about what Maxim Agri does.
Maxim Agri, we are originally actually a Pakistani company, which we started 20 years ago in Lahore. And we started in Kenya 4 years ago. What we do is we produce high quality fish feed. So fish, the fish farm industry is growing rapidly in East Africa because it's a great way to feed
The population.
the population. And we make the fish feed that's required. Yeah, we do that out of Naivasha. So we're not really growing the samak, but we help others to do that.
Grow the samak.
Yeah.
People don't think of what feeds the fish actually. It's like, okay, don't they eat planktons? But from a commercial scale, that's something to think about. Well, talk to me about Kenya's commercial fish growing landscape. What do I call it?
Yeah. Fish farming.
Fish farming. That's what.
Yeah. So basically, we traditionally, when you go to Lake Victoria, you will see fishermen going out with nets, and that's what we call wild catch, which is not very sustainable. What the emerging fish farm industry does, they put cages deep into the lake, and there's the fish grow at different levels. They get special feed, and that industry is growing extremely fast, both in Kenya, Uganda, as well as in Rwanda and Tanzania. Logically, because with the current population growth, if you do the math and you know that, for instance, for 1 kg of beef, you need 4 kg or 6 kg of plant protein. That means if the population grows and everybody keeps on consuming meat, we'll need a lot of plant protein. But fish converts at about 1.2 to 1.
Okay.
Which means you need only 1.2 kilo of plant protein to get 1 kg of fish protein. So it's a very sustainable solution.
Quite heavy. I have seen the cages in pictures and video, and standing from far, I show and I see light deep in the lake. I haven't been close to the cage itself. So how big, ideally, is a cage? And because this is a cage and it has, water can pass. It's just that the fish can't live.
Yeah.
So will the feed not go into the lake?
Eric, I love that question. So basically, the cages are quite big. I mean, they're actually huge because you have a lot of fish in it. But the trick is actually fish eat from the surface. So we all think that fish go down, but tilapia actually comes to the surface to eat.
Okay.
So one of the definitions of quality of fish feed is floatability. Because you can imagine if I have a floatability of 80%, it means 20% will never be eaten by the fish.
Yeah.
So what we have developed in Navashe, in our factory, is a floatability of 99 up to 100%, which gives us a huge advantage over our competitors. Because if the others have 92, it means we have an outright price and cost advantage of 8%.
Okay.
So it's actually it's like you know Rice Krispies.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, that's it.
So
looks
you're
a bit
throwing
like
there,
A little bit
it
like
floats.
it floats.
And it doesn't go with the tide.
There's no tides because it's
The
Lake
lake.
Victoria.
Victoria. There's wind sometimes.
There's winds, yes.
So it doesn't move.
No.
Well, the cage is big.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
You know, I'm just
I
wondering,
learned
does
this
it
from feeding the fish last week. They do come a little
Mm.
bit to
Oh,
the
to the
surface,
surface.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking about the energy requirements. Like this is what I'm using as an example was feeding fish in an aquarium, and the energy requirements there are already massive. What are your energy requirements for producing the sub? How much actually do you produce, and what are your energy requirements as far as fish feed is concerned?
So we are going to be producing 65 metric tons of feed per year, which is a huge quantity. The energy requirement, Ronoh, what are we taking from you? 3 megawatts. 3 megawatts.
65 metric tons.
Yes.
So 3 megawatts of power.
Yes.
That's what you need.
Yes.
How big a factory is this? What's 3 megawatts?
3 megawatts.
We
is
don't
a
know.
lot.
We know 240 volts. That's what,
What's 3
that's-
megawatts?
What's 3 megawatts of power? I know
many-
we
how
have
many light bulbs?
engineer Ronoh, whom we had on Friday, is going to be coming after
Yeah.
you.
I was actually going to ask how many light bulbs.
Yeah, no,
would
how
it
many
take?
light bulbs is that?
I know something about making fish.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
Ronoh,
too much
Ronoh will come after
Yeah.
this,
And
and
tell
we'll
us.
ask him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it take for you to actually do? If you were not at the KenGen Energy Park, Green Energy Park, what would that mean for your business to produce 65 metric tons of fish feed?
Well, I think the Green Energy Park has a lot of advantages. Of course, location. So close to the lake, you need water. Close to the geothermal, so there's electricity. There's electricity also at a advantageous rate, which obviously helps with our competitive advantage.
Yes.
Also, there's going to be a road to ICD, so it means the container terminal. There's going to be a road there.
Yes.
So while if you look on the map, you might say, why would you put your fish feed factory there? But if you look at it, water, energy, ICD, it's actually very centrally located. So we believe that that's strategically a very, very good place to be. Also because we believe there will be a lot of new businesses coming. And we know what happens when business come together, there's innovation. So I think there's many elements. Definitely based on the package that we get at the Green Energy Park, we will be very competitive, which will also allow us to export. So we are already exporting to Tanzania, we are already exporting to Uganda and to Rwanda.
I'm hearing a lot of future proofing and future planning
Yeah.
because we're looking to the future as to what this could potentially become.
Yeah.
Maybe work us around the savings aspect. To what the benefit of you being within the Green Park vis-a-vis you being located elsewhere, how much would you be saving?
I think we're saving about 30% on energy, and otherwise we are not going to take a lot of the tax benefits. So that's for us a major thing. But of course, on the factory, that's a major saving, and it will allow us to actually be more competitive. And I think that is what is so nice about the Green Park, because you talk about future proofing. Also, we as a nation want to export, and we all know that there are certain circumstances today which are actually holding our competitiveness back. So we are very happy with a public-private partnership that will actually allow us to increase international competitiveness.
What would be since you're future building and future proofing, what would be the biggest, outside of this 63 figure that you quoted, what would be the biggest output if all factors are considered?
What do you mean the biggest?
Like,
output?
what's the maximum output of your...
That's at 80%. So then we can increase another 20%, but we are already preparing a next phase investment. So we have just doubled capacity, So we were doing about $27 million of revenue from that location. We're now going to take it next year to $40 million. So it's really a sizable increase. And we're then at 80%. So then we can grow another 20%. And then if the Green Park gives us another allotment of more megawatts, we'll expand.
Okay.
There's this green, and KenGen is so big on this green energy. And one of the things that we're going to ask Ronoh is, but we've been bragging that Kenya has over 90% of our grid is green.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you set up outside, you'd still be getting mostly green energy. Okay? Now, is there anything that Maxim Agri is doing with the word green here in terms of accessing finance for your business or accessing markets for your business? Like saying, we are using 100% green energy, so our processes are green, and so therefore we are a green business.
I think as a group, and you said future-proofing, we believe that future-proofing is making decisions today that will allow you to do business when your children, and go on, are alive. So I don't think we're per se looking at it from a perspective, this is a marketing gimmick, that we go out and say, oh, we're so green. We just believe that sustainability is the right thing to do. It should be core of your strategy, because that means that in the longer term, you'll be able to do business. So for us, being here and taking green energy is part of our ethos. It's basically our values. I think also, we were talking about the feed conversion rate of fish. I think the beauty of this partnership is that we are actually building a future-proof way to feed people. The population will double. If you start doing the math, it will scare you. Fish and the fish farming industry is a key pillar to making sure that we can feed our nation in 10, 20, 30 years. And doing that in a sustainable way with sustainable energy is part of the core of what we are about.
The amount of investment that's gone into this from KenGen's part is something we can speak of. But then on your end as well, I'm assuming this wasn't your first year of business, So talk to me about what has changed, what you needed to give up actually to come and then set up within the Green Energy Park. And what kind of sacrifices, financial and otherwise, that took?
Well, I wouldn't talk about sacrifice, I would talk about investment.
Okay.
For us, the moment this came on the table, it was very clear that the benefits would definitely outdo the disadvantages. So we invested a total of $10.6 million to make this happen. And we don't look at it as a sacrifice, we look at it as an investment, because we already see that there's a lot of demand for our product. We know that if we get the green energy and the package that the Green Park offers us, that it will give us good returns, and it will again help us to become more competitive. And with more competitiveness will come more growth. So we're completely looking at it with a future-looking perspective.
With a future-looking perspective. Okay.
I'm just wondering, for any fish farmer that is watching this, a lot of corporate lingo just always, unfortunately, stays at the top and doesn't cascade down. So on your part, you're making all of these decisions that guarantee sustainability, efficiency, and you're saving on cost. To a fish farmer, would they be guaranteed of cheaper feeds?
For sure. Today, as I said, our floatability is highest. Our price is at market range, which means de facto we are like 4 or 5% cheaper to the farmer than our competitors. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I think in agro business, we should always aim to make sure that our customers are actually successful. Because ultimately, if your customers are successful, genuinely successful, and profitable, it means they will be sustainable and they will be there for the longer term. So that's what we focus on a lot in the business that we have. Asking ourselves the question, how do we help our customers to actually be successful?
All right.
Yeah.
Commercial fish farming here is somewhat, like we said earlier, somewhat of a new idea for a lot of people. More sustainable, definitely a lot cheaper, but is it catching on at the pace that we would like? So one, is there a market if you were to go to 100% capacity? Or is it a chicken and egg situation? Let me produce more, see where it goes, or there's demand for more, so I'm producing more.
I don't want everybody to rush into fish feed manufacturing now, but I can tell you a little secret that the first plant that we opened was full capacity within 3 months. And I've been running businesses and building business for the last 22 years. I've never run a business that within 3 months we were full capacity, and we actually had negative stock. Everything, we basically had demand more than we could supply, and that's still the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is that fish being? That fish has been consumed locally. Because I imagine that means that you have a sizable number of farmers,
Yes.
right, who are growing a sizable number of fish, and that fish is all being consumed locally,
Yes.
or are we exporting?
We're exporting a little bit.
And we still import.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we actually still have a deficit in the
Yes.
market, and there's space for growth.
And I think that, Eric, is a very interesting point. And we also run biofood products. We believe that everybody should have access to safe and healthy food now and in the future. And we believe that Kenya, and we all know that, has the resources and potential to be a net exporter. Yet today, on many agricultural commodities, we are a net importer. And we look forward to being a driver, together with the administration, together with companies like KenGen, to actually change that dynamic. And the main answer there is increase productivity per unit. So make sure that you get more fish per kilogram of feed, that you get better milk per kilogram of feed, etc., etc.
Big investment, the Green Energy Park. $10 million is big. Talk to me about the impact. How many people employed? How many people directly employed, indirectly employed? What kind of impact, cascade impact is it having?
We, within our ecosystem, so within the company, we have about 600 people working. I don't know the exact number. I couldn't tell you the exact number of in the whole ecosystem, but I would assume, knowing how many people work in the fish farms, that it's into the thousands.
Thousands being impacted by this, right?
In terms of income. And then, of course, if you look at people fed, it's much more.
The number of people who are consuming this.
Yeah.
So still looking at impact, you are in a special economic zone. One of the things that KenGen is using and saying, come and invest here, is because this has been gazetted as a special economic zone. I'll quote Rigathi Gachagua. Talk to me like I'm a standard 4 student. What is a special economic zone?
A special economic zone is basically a special zone where you get certain benefits that will entice you and actually facilitate you to make extra investments, maybe a little bit for the longer term. If you start a business or if you invest, you look at, okay, what's my risk, what is the tax, etc., and then you make a certain decision. I think the idea of a special economic zone is to create certain benefits, which then will entice investors to invest a little bit more and a little bit deeper and for a little bit for the longer term.
Okay. Yeah. So what benefits are you enjoying?
I think for us the main benefit is the energy rate, which is advantageous, which for our industry, which is heavy on energy, is a major advantage in terms of cost, and therefore making sure that we are more competitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tax rebates.
Tax rebates, we have not invested based on the tax rebates. We mainly purely for the energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you enjoy.
Yeah.
We will enjoy.
You'll enjoy them.
Yeah. We'll never say no to that.
And I mean, who would? And then
it never happens otherwise. They never come to you and say, "Hey, by the way, this year you don't have to pay."
Oh,
No.
What did you need? What did you need to do to get to invest here?
Yes.
Do you just call KenGen and say,
Well, actually,
I was passing by there, or did they call you?
I must say, I think we all have our perspectives on parastatals or semi-parastatals. I think our engagement with KenGen was extremely good. It started out as a conversation. Now they have a website, so you don't have to do a conversation.
Yeah,
or you
portal.
go to the website, to the portal, and from there it starts. We found very willing partners who are very interested, who actually wanted to accommodate us. Of course, these things take time because we were on the front end, so a lot of things we had to find our own pathway, but it was actually very smooth. And we're very grateful for the commercial team at KenGen for facilitating and being flexible, because obviously they came with an idea and then you find that it's not as practical as you wanted it. They have made a lot of changes and here we are today.
Okay. Some of the things that people, sorry Mariam, people think about is it's a special economic zone. So you're coming in and you're finding that they've put up the go-downs. You just plug and play. Did they do that? Or what have they done? When they talk about they are providing infrastructure, give me the extent of this infrastructure. Of course, there's power.
Yes.
But what's the other infrastructure?
There's roads. There's going to be the road to ICD. So it's under development.
Okay.
But ultimately, what you expect when there's infrastructure, it's roads, it's water connection, it's electricity connection,
Sewer.
It's sewer. It's that you can just build your factory. and that you have road access. And I think if you would go to Naivasha today, you will see that South Lake Road is completely being worked on.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be the
An
road to
expansion
ICD.
of Moy South Lake.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That's was really necessary. I don't know if you've been there
I have, yeah.
recently. The last bit of the road was quite challenging.
Yes.
Now I think it's already being retarmacked, so that's really good. And then there's the ICD road.
Okay. My last question would be, I know there's a lot of potential investors who are listening right now, and they've got answers as far as, their investments, the special economic zones, the advantages. The question then would be how to future-proof, or what that would future-proof you against regime change, etc. Like, what assurances do you have that this is a place that I can set up long-term and enjoy these benefits over the course of the years, as opposed to something that would change should a regime change, or should, I don't know, something else fluctuate?
I think as an investor, we looked at it in two ways. We said, what is the main benefit of being here? These are two: green energy, infrastructure, and advantageous electricity rate. And everything else, we said, if everything else falls away, is this still a good investment? So that's our personal, so we as a business are future-proofing. I think also past performance says something about future expectations. I don't think we have seen a lot of big changes around EPZs and special economic zones. So we expect that not to happen. Also because ultimately, business is what keeps the nation buoyant. So I think any regime will be hesitant to disrupt that.
Okay, I like that. Let's end the conversation there, but we'll continue threading it from now, the KenGen perspective, in the next hour. But speaking to anyone who is watching right now, potentially who may be thinking of investing in the Green Energy Park, what would you tell them in 30 seconds or less?
I would tell them, great location, great service, great package of benefits. Great company already there, Samagro. Join us. We need you. I believe that if companies come together, even if they're in different industries, innovation will happen. Yes. So we're also very hopeful that being in this green energy park, being with other businesses, we will drive innovation to push our businesses, but also our nation further.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Joachim Westerveld, Director at Maxim Agri. Let's get into our Zap Nation at the 1:30 mark with John, who is making sure that accountability is top of mind for all of us. When we come back, Engineer Kibet Ronoh will be with us.
Good morning, what's up, nation? My name is Job. Today I am fixing the nation by being thankful to God because He has finally heard our outcry. And I'm clairvoyant that He's about to do a new thing. And one of the new things that I'm looking into is us having a debt-free country. Can you imagine if Kenya was debt-free? The Kenyan shilling would appreciate against other currencies and become stronger. And one of the things that would have is improved investors' confidence in this country.
Thank you so much, John. That's a wonderful WhatsApp Nation video. We love to see and hear from fixers. Let us know what you're doing in your corner to fix the nation. What is working? What's not working? Share a little bit of insight into your day as well. As you go to work, as you go to school, as you look for work, as you fix the nation, as you run for office, let us know. Our number is 0769 590 762. That's 0769 590 762. We'll be more than happy to share tomorrow.
Indeed. If you're in Naivasha, and one of the two companies that has so far invested there has employed you, also you can make a WhatsApp Nation.
Yes.
Say, you know what? Yeah. This is so and so. I work at the Green Energy Park in Naivasha. I work for this company, and this is what we do.
Yeah.
And let's get to see, practically. The
Mambo
people
kwa
who
ground.
are directly employed and benefiting from this. Our next guest is Kibet Ronoh. Engineer Kibet Ronoh is the General Manager for Commercial Services at KenGen. He was here last week. We're talking about, green energy and thinking of sustainable power. Now here today, we are talking about this particular park. Kibet, let's hear first your interpretation of the quote. And then my first question would be, how big is this park?
How many more megawatts are left? If 3 have gone to Maxim Agri.
Kila mtu anagawiwa yake. Karibu sana once again. Today's quote is courtesy of South African novelist Bessie Head. She was a novelist. And the quote reads, when you stand still, you're still moving, you're moving backwards. How does that speak to you?
Wamboi, perfectly aligns with what we do. You know, most people think stabilizing the boat, most people think status quo achieves more. But for every day you miss to make a step, you're shrinking rather than growing. And in all our aspects in life, we should always endeavor to grow before our time comes to an end.
I like that.
Growth and not stagnating, which is what we see in KenGen doing, Uko, in Naivasha. And, you know, just bringing in Eric's question, how big is this green park? What's the capacity in terms of the number of businesses that can exist within the green park? How many do you have right now? I think you mentioned 2. And
Will it finish our
Will it
electricity?
finish it? It's like, yeah. Most importantly, watu wa Naivasha watakuwa na blackout. It's like, ni green park walieka hapa. It's a culprit.
Yeah. So allow me to start with the question of how big, and then I will go with what value does it bring to us. Wamboi, when we started the Green Energy Park, our biggest issue was land. We thought we would need big industries and all, and we carved out 4,500 acres. And we said, this is a zone to bring in the industries. And our first go at it, we started profiling, we need the big industries, but we realized it is so hard to move a company from industrial area that has been established for 50 years to come and move to the Green Energy Park.
Yeah.
And so we changed the thinking as KenGen, and we said, can we attract even companies that just want to start? So I don't need to see your financials, I don't need to see what, all I need to see is your commitment. And that was a game changer. We got a special approval to continuously onboard investors through an online portal until the tenancy is full. So it's so easy. You walk in, you just log into the website, no commitment at that point. We did a lot of heavy lifting, taking the draft agreements all the way for approval through our parent ministries, National Treasury, AG's office. So all those drafts are approved. So it's basically a plug and play. You're coming in, we already have the draft agreements, have a look at it. And when we were doing it, we envisaged a startup. What would they want to be able to grow? Because our main target, success here, would be marked by an industry being onboarded. Yeah? And suddenly, those are surge. As we speak now, our portal has a total of 55 queued investors. But there is now the advantage of who came first and who came last. So we're doing it in an orderly fashion, giving priority to the industries that came in first. So it's a first-in approach. And one of the reasons there's a delay to onboard the others is because we have to let these initial people to transform their companies into special economic zone enterprise companies. Okay? So one of the key things is, yes, you're onboarded, but you have to align again with the Special Economic Zone Act by having your enterprise registered there. So you have to change again your organization. So that takes time. And then from there now is when you're accepted and you're able to benefit from the tax benefits and the incentives that come with the Special Economic Zones Act. So that is the process. So all systems are going, but it depends also on the speed of the private investor that is coming on board.
Typically, how long does that take?
Yeah.
So it depends on the board decisions that they have. We have foreign investors who've moved in very fast and they're already on the ground. Maxim were not the first, but you can see the progress they've made to really achieve what they want to do. So it's basically an action item on the investor based on the requirement of investments and all that. Because once you ink it, you're also giving us a construction security. Yeah, you're denying someone else that chance. So if you're unable to come up in the next few months, then we pull it away. Now, regarding will this geothermal consume everything in Kenya, I want to put it differently. When you go to a supermarket and you pick a bottle of water, it is probably at the most affordable cost. When you're in the gym, the value of that water is much more than what it is in the supermarket. Okay? When you're up in the skies in an aeroplane, you know, the vendors will sell you that water at a different price. And when you're in the desert, that becomes equal to the price of gold.
Yeah.
We asked ourselves, we have green electrons that are a premium world over. Everyone is looking for it. How can we extract the most value out of it? Is it to light up homes, warm showers, or would we use it for for manufacturing and industrialization that has major effect in terms of the number of jobs, the trade balance for the country, the foreign direct investments. So we decided to say, look, while we're doing nuclear, while we're doing hydro, while we're doing solar, we can use that to support the Kenyan ecosystem. We're also getting ourselves latched into the East Africa Power Pool. We'll have a lot of access to power. But what can we do to benefit most from this precious green resource that we have? And geothermal is only abundant in certain countries. We call it the ring on fire. So we are blessed by God to have it. Yeah.
Very true. Let me go back to the special economic zones and the requirements for anyone who wants to come into the green park. Is it an automatic, I just have to change, my company registration details, now I'm registered in an SEZ, and boom, I can come to green energy, or are there other requirements?
So that's a good question, Mariam. We allow you to apply with your current outfit, okay? And our agreements allow you to assign that to a new company once you form it. Okay, so wherever you are, you're ready, you apply through our portal. Then now we have a response system that issues a draft contracts for you to have a look at it. If you're comfortable, we invite you to come and select the land that you want. Okay, and then once you've selected the land, it comes to inking the contract, and that's where we need a deposit, equivalent or calculated from the amount of power that you need to consume. And why we're doing that is really to focus on onboarding serious partners and avoid hoarding, because now there's a timeline for that. Okay, now once you're ready to construct, you can now register through the Special Economic Zones Authority, transform your organization into an enterprise or form a totally new vehicle, an SPV, ring fence on that business, and then now you're able now to start developing within the Green Energy Park. When you do so, everything you import is duty-free, so there are loads of benefit that these investors have. And why do we do this? Why would someone want to invest in Kenya, Naivasha, and not in Tanzania, Ethiopia, Uganda? We have to give them the best platform, because what we're really competing for is transforming our number of jobs created. Can we export more? Can we have more foreign direct investments that improves our reserves? So that's building wealth within the country.
Okay. Maybe from a numbers perspective, talk to me about, for example, Maxim Agri, 3 megawatts. What's the capacity of the Green Energy Park as a whole?
So currently, we have a pipeline of projects that are coming on board, okay? And these are projects that we're dedicating to the park. When you sign off, we start already assigning and preparing that plant to be able to supply you, knowing that it might take you 2 years to come on board, okay?
It's individual power plants for every business?
Not necessarily individual, but we plan our power growth based on the demand that is confirmed. Okay. Yeah. So from an overview perspective, the current demand is running into 700 from the 55. But the people who've inked it, we're looking at about 232. I need to confirm that figure. Okay. And we are actively developing 165.4. We've gotten into an interesting, innovative financial model called, we are leasing power generators to help us convert the steam into electricity. Those are some of the pipeline projects that we have that we intend to power the Green Energy Park.
Okay.
Yes.
Down to Malaysia steamer.
Yeah, back to Falari's question. Because I thought this was a ring fence energy park. Yes, and then
they're getting from their own, their own geothermal well.
Not their own geothermal well per se, but at least that it's ring fenced. But this sounds like we're pulling from the grid.
No, we're not pulling. We're not pulling from the grid. These are new plants that are coming on board. We're not pulling or distorting the grid. So I'm giving you comfort.
So it's basically new geothermal well, new geothermal plants.
New capacity.
New capacity being introduced. It's part of our 5-year
least cost development.
No,
these are outside. These are plants outside.
KenGen 2024-2032 plan.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking 750.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yes.
But if you get that out of our current grid, you've taken everything.
No, we're not getting it out of our current. That's new capacity.
Good to understand that.
We are looking at when can you come on board? 5 years. We start now.
Is it part?
2 years.
Is it part of the 1,500 in the plan.
Yes.
Remember, we're talking about
Yes.
5,500.
5,500.
5,500 plus nuclear.
Yes.
It's never confusing. 5,500 is including nuclear,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is basically, you're looking at, you're in Naivasha, geothermal. So what's the capacity of the kind of wells and new plants that are in the pipeline?
Yeah. So Latif, the 700 is just an expression. It's nothing that I can build or convince our board that we need to develop a power plant for the 700.
Okay.
It's only when we have a signed document
That you can
that
go
gives
there.
us a good lead time is when I can go to the board and convince them that we need to make this investment.
Okay.
Otherwise, this is just a way to basically sound the ecosystem and understand how what's the demand for this.
All right.
And outrightly, there is high demand. So this is a focus priority for us.
Yeah.
So with every inked assignment, I have to go back to the board and tell them, can we now develop
Can
on
we,
this?
can,
Yes.
you, can you invest this?
Yes.
Is there a minimum acreage per applicant?
No, there's no minimum acreage. And initially I told you our biggest worry was land. People will come take 500 acres. We realized you have industries occupying very efficient land use systems that a small half an acre in a guy needs 100 megawatts. So it takes you back and you realize land is no longer
It's not the issue.
limiting resource. It's actually electricity. So that is what we've learned through the years. Yeah.
Have you master planned these 4,500 acres in the Green Park? There are industries coming. There are people working there. So they need accommodation. They need services like schools and hospitals and such.
A very good question, Latif. We did the master plan back in 2015, if I'm not wrong. Okay, running all the way to 2018. So we have a detailed feasibility study and master plan on this. Okay, now we've engaged various arms of government to also support us. For example, the housing. Once we see there's a requirement for adequate support for that, then government needs to run in. But we're also leveraging a lot on private play. Okay, so when investors come, they're happy to say, where can we buy land around to put up a housing unit for their teams? So because we wanted to make the park affordable, we really avoided a lot of, how could I put it, ancillary or non-core investment. Okay, remember the price we're selling is 7 years hence. Our margins are so skinny that if we add anything else, we might lose out. Okay, all in the sake of sacrifice to get a better environment to attract these investors. So we have a lot of interest from private sector play saying we can come and do houses. Once you've given us these numbers and we're actually seeing the industries are coming up, people are beginning to buy land around there to be able to put up these amenities.
By around, we mean outside the park.
Outside the park, yes. And basically it's just to grow that ecosystem.
I know there's, sorry, I was going to say, I know there's investors listening, watching,
Yes.
doing the math in their head, trying to do quick calculations, and the cost of power being one of the biggest advantages that they would get from being at the Green Energy Park. Walk me through a cost comparison inside the Green Energy Park and outside, so that they can start, because they're like, okay, so I get there, I get to the park, I buy some land, okay, cool. My staff needs somewhere to live, so I need a little bit of land close by as well. Put up maybe, I don't know, a school, some roads. Then the math needs to math for me.
Yes. Okay.
Walk me through the cost advantage.
Mariam, allow me to answer that on my last part of my statement.
Oh, okay. Sorry to interrupt.
So, when I joined Olkaria, and we'd drive down Moi South Lake Road, you'd find very few hotels, arguably 4 or 5 hotels on that road. It was a dead, but once the geothermal focus happened, then now issues of housing came up, because you could either be housed in KenGen or in Naivasha town. But investors saw that opportunity. And today, the number of houses in Naivasha are overwhelming. You cannot miss a house. Before the rally, you would find a lot of space, land, gaps, as you drive down that Moi South Lake Road. Today, Wambui, Latif, Mariam, you will not find space. Everyone has put up a hotel.
That's true.
Because of just that one event that changes everything. And when you ask them, they say, listen, we might not make money throughout the year, but that one event, we cut. We meet all our requirements, our targets. So a very sustainable system involves private sector play. That's what we believe in. So for us, enabling the environment for industries to come and giving them a compelling and convincing reason, then these investors say it even goes worth it to build, or you have other real estate people coming on board to say, yes, there is demand now, because these industries look for demand. So once we create it, then everybody flows in, right? So while we still anchor on the housing project in government to support us, I am certain, and what we have seen is private investors are not just coming to look at land in the green energy park. Immediately they leave us, they go and look outside there. We don't sell our land, we rent it. We rent it at 50,000 shillings per acre per year. Tell me where you can get that.
Hey.
Lovely scenes.
50K per acre per year.
Per year.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, all in reducing your cost of your product.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how this compares to more developed and aggressive economies. Like, if you think about an investor who's looking at maybe going to Egypt or South Africa vis-a-vis Kenya, because then this is literally encouraging foreign investors to come in. How does this compare to other places they would choose to invest in?
Yes, I'm not sure that I'm allowed to name countries, but yeah.
You can.
The predictability of your cost is the most comforting thing for an investor.
True.
Where you're able to know that my product can be produced at this price for the next 20 years. That is what KenGen is offering. Okay, so we're giving you backed guarantees to confirm that our cost will be this way for the next 20 years. Very few countries offer that. In fact, the complaints we get is midway, prices begin to escalate, changes begin to happen, and all that. The benefits under the special economic zone are done through an act of parliament. So no regime change can come and negate
You've foreseen my next I see.
could negate that. So we've really anchored our green energy park on a guaranteed model that helps you predict your every cost for the next 20 years. And we've given you a right of refusal to renew that lease. First right of refusal. So you're looking at 40 years of guaranteed input at a fixed price.
Okay. There's a question here from Javit asking how the clean energy advantage benefits small-scale farmers, from commercial feed prices, etc. And I think when we think of something like a green energy park, I'm thinking I have to be a big investor. I have to have investment in the billions of shillings. I have to be a multinational coming in from somewhere else to benefit from something like a green energy park. Walk me through, if I am not at that level, but in need of affordable energy, is this a possibility for me? And 50,000 shillings per acre per year sounds good. And I'm like, how much? What else? What are the hidden, charges?
Thank you for that, and I appreciate that comment. That was the old school thinking of looking at business, where you want big industries to come in. KenGen is making strides because we believe in the small scale business, and that's why we are not vetting your financial records. We are not vetting how long you have 3 audited years of accounts and all that. You're a startup, come. We're giving you the most affordable land. You will arguably never get that there. So we are actually pro-small, as opposed to big, because the big people also come with a lot of conditions and muscle. But if you look at our 5 investors, one of them is doing EV vehicles, one of them is doing a data center, one of them is doing an electromechanical workshop. You cannot really place them as being very big. Of course, we also have a blend of very big, because we have the green fertilizer project also ongoing there. But you can see that we are sensitive and we accommodate both big and small. Yeah. So he should be comfortable. Let him apply. I encourage you to look at our website. We have a portal dedicated just for that. You don't need to talk to anybody, get anybody's number. You'll just be invited for the pre-negotiations.
Nice. What I hear you saying, engineer, is the bigger idea here for the KenGen Green Energy Park is you want to create a new industrial city. 4,500 acres is huge, right? So it's a new industrial city within Naivasha. Now, you said you've master planned it. You're focusing more on the industries being here, then the other tertiary services can be surrounding the area. That requires you to do a lot of planning and development. So talk to me about the infrastructure, the horizontal infrastructure, roads, how wide the roads are, what the quality of the roads, water, making sure that the same way you can guarantee there's power, can you guarantee water? Waste disposal, it's a big thing. There will be companies that are dealing with bio-waste, others are dealing with some slightly hazardous waste. How do you deal with that? And so on and so forth. And even this link to the ICD. Joachim is hopeful that it shall be done. He's relying on hope today until he comes to your office and says, you know, you guys promised.
This is what you promised.
Yeah, so what's the plan for this and how fast are you moving?
Thank you, Latif. One of our key guidelines and our Bible for this is our feasibility study report that we have done, approved all the way to the board level and to our parent ministry level. It zones where these industries are going to be. Okay, so it is not scattered all over. We know once you're doing this, this is the preferred area that we'd like, because we are trying to encourage something called circular economy, where your waste could be my input, or my services are required by your industry, so that you have a symbiotic relationship with all these industries. So we are governed by that. But one of the advantages we had is we are leveraging on existing infrastructure that we've developed over time.
Right.
So as we speak, the roads already exist, you know. So
Inside the park?
Inside the park, because of the already existing facility that we have. So we are anchoring our model on one of the reasons why we're affordable is we don't need to really expand more in terms of inroads and water lines. All that already exists. So it's more of a plug and play. Okay. But most importantly, we realize there's need to do a road from the Green Energy Park, linking it to the ICD. Latif, I make promises and we fulfill. In the next few months, 2 months, we will be groundbreaking for 16.47 kilometer road connecting the Green Energy Park into the internal container depot in Suswan. So you can produce your products within 20-30 minutes. They're the ICD and they are railed whichever way you want to go. If you want to go to the western side of Kenya, if you want to go to Mombasa, that is practically possible. We have the contracts at hand. And what we also did is we split that contract into 3. So we're having 3 contractors doing different segments. That's going to accelerate it. And we are confident that in the next 15 to 18 months, the road will be operational.
Rail?
We have a meter rail that already exists. The SGR now, we will be using that small stretch of road to connect to it. So that already exists. Airports already exist. In terms of we have an airstrip, 2 airstrips actually just next to the Green Energy Park. There's also the advantage of altitude. Naivasha is quite a high place. It's higher than Nairobi. So factories
Who'd have thought?
spend less on cooling. The higher you go, the cooler it becomes. So when you're up there, it is cooler. So you spend less on cooling, because all these factories, one of their biggest problems is cooling. Okay, when you look at the skill set around Naivasha, from what has been developed from the flower farms, the existing, you're tapping into a place where skill set is readily available. So that becomes a major advantage as well for that. And again, the location of Naivasha, it's smack in the heart of Kenya. It's right in the middle. So moving east, west, north, south, COMESA, EAC, you're in it.
The director wants us to end there, but water.
We have an abstraction license that we do from Lake Naivasha. But most importantly, we are putting up a recycling facility for the water, so that as these industries use the water, we're able to recycle it and redistribute it back. So water is readily available.
Water is life.
Yeah.
Water is life.
Yeah.
You know, Joachim was telling us one of the things that took them to Naivasha is water. And I was thinking, which water? Which water are you talking about?
Water in the lake? No, kidding.
Engineer Kibet Ronoh is the General Manager for Commercial Services at KenGen. And we've been talking about the KenGen Green Energy Park. What's this portal that's one can apply?
Just through the KenGen website, www.kengen.co.ke, you're guided in, you'll be able to see where to apply.
Follow the tabs, click on the one where you can get into the Green Energy Park, apply, they'll respond to you, and you can start that journey of investing at the Green Energy Park in Naivasha. Stima mingi. Otas.
Yeah.
Stima otas.
Mashamba ni mingi pia.
Yeah.
4,500 acres. 50K, my guy.
Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in to Fixing the Nation. So we are finishing.
Yes.
Am I, could have been saying thank you.
You could be here missing an hour. It happens.
Missing an hour. One conversation at a time. It's been a lovely one. It's Eric Latif, Mariam Bishar, and Felari Somboy. Coming up, Your World on NTV. What do they have?
Right, the search for happiness. Winnie Lubembe and Mary Mwikali are searching for happiness. I'm wishing them all the best. If they have a formula, let us know. And on Nation FM, Claudia Naisabo and Brian Aseli will be on Vibe Shift. We'll be back here tomorrow, 6 to 10 a.m. Have an amazing, amazing Monday.
You know, as we go, yesterday was Mary Mwikali's birthday. So happy birthday,
happy
Mary
birthday,
Mwikali.
Mwikali.
Very good, very good. Akuje tumwimbie.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow.